Hey, today we talk about breaking down your techniques into an actionable form. Hey, welcome to Practice Wing Chun, where we discuss Wing Chun and answer any Wing Chun training questions. My name is Edgar, and this is episode 49 of Practice Wing Chun. Today we'll be talking about breaking down your techniques and making them into an actionable form. And what do I mean by actionable form? So we have 3 open hand forms. Actually 4 if you count the dummy form. So we have Silam Tao, Chum Q, and Beauty. So sometimes when you're doing the forms, you can see the purpose of each movement. But let's say you have other techniques that you want to include from Chi Sao or something like that. And you know the move, but you can't really place where it is from your open hand forms. And that's where you want to just start breaking down your techniques and making it so it's a form. What I mean by this is, so let's just use Chi Sao as an example. So there's a move in Chi Sao that I do in my class that we learn. One of the first techniques we learn is Pak and strike. So Pak and strike. It's Pak and strike. Now for us to do this, in our mind, we see Pak and then we do strike. But against an opponent, we have to do it another way because we're defending against a potential counter strike and as well as breaking down their guard. So we have to go in like this. So you may have seen me do this in some videos, and this is because this is essentially a form of a technique. Because if I know that I'm doing this, I know which technique I'm going for, which is Pak and strike. So now I'm not sure if this is how your school does it, how you break down your techniques, but in my school, we break down our techniques so that we can practice them open-handed, because not all of us have training partners. I mean, no offense or anything to the dummy, but I don't always have the time to meet up with my friends, my classmates, to practice or train with them. So I may have to practice at home, on my own, in the air open-handedly, or on the dummy. So once you get these forms down, once you jot them all down, record yourself, take photos of these forms, you memorize them, so that way when you do them, you know, okay, I know what I'm doing now, okay? And when you do them and use them in class for Chi Sao, you know when you get into this position against your opponent, you know that you're disrupting their arm, you're blocking their counter strike, and you're striking them. Okay, this is good form. If I'm in this position, it means I messed up somewhere. This should be up here, right? Now, I'm not going to say that every technique has a form, but if you can do that, I think it makes it easier for you to remember the technique. Because sometimes techniques require more than just one movement. They could require multiple movements. So you break them down in the form, you could just kind of do them all together. So for instance, Chi Sao. Let's always go back to Chi Sao. So let's say I were to do the Chi Sao form. This is my interpretation of all my Chi Sao techniques. If I were to do the form, it would look something like this. I'm just gonna go through quickly the first half. So that's how I would do it. I would do them in order. So from like front to back, and then reverse. And this is how I do my forms on both hands. And I do this because it's easier to memorize my techniques. Because doing the form, Silam Tao, Chum Q, Beauty, you remember the movements of the form, and it just becomes a part of you. I'm sure if you've been doing Silam Tao for a while, you can do it without really thinking too much about it. And this is the same reason why you want to make your techniques a form, so that way when you do them, it just becomes a part of you. You don't have to focus so much on the movements because you are now focusing on what to do next. This is how you go into striking multiple times, because as your body automatically goes into position to do your technique, you have the time now for you to think of the next move. And this is something my Sifu puts a lot of emphasis on, is to always do more than one move. So if your body's already doing one move, you have time to think about the next move. And once you get that down, you can think about the next move. So my question for you is, what do you think about this? Turning your techniques into forms. Let me know in the comments. So until next time, keep training.